Hey guys, great to be with you. This is Greg with Florida Crusader, coming back for another video exploring Plato's four classical virtues as they are laid out in his magnum opus text, The Republic. So if this is the first video you're catching of ours, if you haven't tuned into the channel yet, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell so that as we have new content, that's available to you and it's made known to you as it comes out. So today we're going to look at the third of the four classical virtues, which is justice. Plato's definition of justice, as defined in the Republic. So in Greek, this word justice is known as, or is pronounced as Dikaiosyne. Dikaiosyne. And so this idea of justice, what is Plato's definition of justice? So we want to take a look at this because this is a very interesting amongst the four classical virtues in that this virtue is what is defined by Plato as the virtue which makes all of the other three classical virtues possible. It's a glue that holds them together. So as we've discussed wisdom, as we've discussed self-control, we see that Plato assigns these characteristics as the predominant characteristic of two of the three strata of his natural hierarchy. So the gold, silver, and bronze dispositions inside the society. The gold, or the rulers of the society, as laid out in the Republic, are the citizens which are predominantly governed by the virtue of wisdom. The bronze we have covered as well, because the predominant virtue of bronze is self-control, temperance, and moderation. So today we are looking at justice, and we're taking a step out of assigning justice to the silver tier and looking at justice as what makes the idea of hierarchy in both the society and the self possible. So Plato defines justice as the condition in which each part of the system of the society, of the system of the self, does what it is naturally suited to do. It does not interfere with the roles of others. So, we've discussed this before, but for the sake of thoroughness, we'll just say again that the Republic is written in the form of a playwright, which Socrates, the mentor of Plato, is seen discussing with other philosophers the definition of the right, the definition of the good, the definition of how does one determine what should be done? And in the Republic, Socrates lays out that through the input and help of other philosophers, that the good is determined by the proper alignment, the proper hierarchical ordering of the society, and the society as a macrocosm of the governance of the self, the government of the elements of the soul. So to look at how in the macrocosm the idea of justice plays out, Plato outlines the polis, the ideal city, the capital city of the Republic, as being ruled by the rulers, the philosopher kings, who are guided by wisdom. The auxiliaries to the ruler, the soldiers, the people that are in charge of guarding the laws of the society, as being governed by courage, and the producers, farmers, the artisans, the merchants, being guided by moderation. So justice exists when each class performs its proper function and does not overstep into the role of another. He paraphrases this in the Republic Book 4 by saying justice is doing one's own work and not meddling with what is not one's own. So the holding of the lane inside of the virtues, the holding of the lane inside of the assignment in life, the holding of the lane in the appropriate disposition of the individual in a hierarchical structure with governance being determined foremost by reason and logical prowess, advised by spirituality and by a sense of connectedness, and a subduing and a servitude of the desiring self and the self that is within the realm of desire, the bodily self. So justice in the soul, how does this equate down to the individual? We see that the rational part, the reason capability of the human, seeks the truth. The spirited part is what seeks for honor and courage in light of knowing the truth. And then the appetitive part, or the desiring self, which seeks pleasure and material goods, the sustenance of the body, as being subject to the spirited and rational parts of the soul. So this tripartite nature of the soul's ordering, when it is in correct order, we have a natural sense of what justice is. Reason is the ruler, spirit supports the reason, and the appetites of the body obey both the reason and the spirit. This inner harmony, this unification of the three, produces a well-ordered and virtuous person. And this well-ordered and virtuous person is who Plato defines as being a just person who is connected to the sense of justice. So if we look at how justice plays the role inside of these four virtues, we see wisdom as knowing what is truly good, courage as preserving right belief despite fear of repercussion, moderation being self-control and balance, and then justice as being looked at as the organizing principle that unifies the other three into a foursome, right? So it's the organizing principle. And then this way, justice is defined by Plato as being a unique virtue. It is not merely one among the others, but it is a condition, the condition of justice, which makes the others possible to exist. It is the root of the four virtues. Now, one might say, well, then does Plato see justice as the ultimate, the transcendent virtue? Again, justice is seen as a unifying element of the three hierarchical ruling virtues. So it is the glue that makes the hierarchy possible. It is the order that is put onto the world through nature, through the divine. So for Plato, justice is not just about law and order, punishment, repercussions. It is about choosing consciously order over chaos, choosing harmony over conflict, choosing proper function instead of necessitating domination. A just city and a just person have the similarity that when each part fulfills its purpose in accordance with reason, this harmony is a natural result. So looking at this sense of justice, we can then see how justice and this word Dikaiosyne in Greek, when the same word is applied in the New Testament, we see it defined as righteousness by Christ. A man of righteousness, a man of justice, a man who is connected to the natural order and the right and wrong that exists by law in the universe. I would love to hear your thoughts on this definition of justice and any insights you have about what Plato has to say. Please feel free to leave those in the comments and I'll respond as I'm able. And I really look forward to seeing you guys in our fourth and final video, which will be about courage, Plato's definition of courage. If you haven't seen the other videos, I'll leave a link to the series at the bottom of the screen and a link to subscribe as well. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and talk to you again soon.